If you've played video games in the past, then you have an unfair advantage when it comes to business. Because like if you're used to video games, then you understand the fundamental principles of improvement and of leveling up and of the grind basically. And in business and in life in general, like how you will succeed is basically by leveling up your character or like leveling up yourself. Because how you can view it is you yourself is are basically like the main character of your own life, of your own game, right? So what we have to do is we don't have to like try to achieve a goal. The only thing that we have to do is improve ourselves or improve our character. Because when you're playing a video game, for example, and you are just level 1, like you can try to skip all of the levels and immediately go for the end boss, but you will fail again and again and again and again because your character isn't like developed enough. And that is the same when it comes to business. Like you can take on like huge goals right now and you can try a lot of different things, but if your character is not as prepared yet and not as leveled up, then you will fail. So when you are an educational creator or when you are a business owner or whatever, then basically you are the product, because business is just an extension of yourself. And 99% of the people, they don't have a business problem, they have a personal problem that is reflecting on their business. So all you have to do is basically to improve yourself. Now, when it comes to yourself, like leveling up your character, okay, so what do I have to improve? Well, I'm going to tell you. So to improve your character, there are basically 3 different things that you can optimize. One is your knowledge. Your knowledge, like everything that you know, because of course, like we live in an information age. The one who knows the most gets the most. The number 2 is the skills. And number 3 is the characteristics. So your knowledge, your skills, and your characteristics, that is all you have to improve in order to achieve any goal that you want. And these 3 things, like what do they include? What do they include? That is what I will tell you in a bit. But just remember, if you want to achieve your goals, don't chase the goal, chase the identity that could easily achieve the goal. Because like your current self, like if you haven't achieved the goal yet, then your current self isn't good enough, isn't leveled up enough to achieve the goal that you want. So you have to improve your knowledge, your skills, and your characteristics. Constantly think about how can I improve those different things. And right now, let's get into the details. First is the knowledge. So where do you get your information from? And that is incredibly important, because input equals output. What you put in is what you get out. So if you consume like TikTok videos or whatever, then your ideas and your knowledge won't be as good. Put trash in, you get trash out. But put quality in, and then you get quality out. So what basically is quality content? Well, the first thing is mentors. Because if you can find a mentor who has already achieved the goal you want to achieve in a way that you want to achieve it, then a mentor is the best place to learn from by far. I have learned so much through my mentors, and like I wouldn't be where I am right now if I didn't invest like $20,000 in mentorship. But I got it back. I got it back already, like by a bunch. And that is only because of the mentors, because they will teach you like exactly the knowledge that you will need in order to achieve your goal in the business model or in the way that you want to achieve it. So first of all, quality content comes from mentors. The second place that you can look is books. Now, books are a way better place to learn than from videos, for example, because mostly videos, it has like a bit of shallow content, you know, like it is a great place to start, but eventually you need to put more quality content into your brain. So books are a way better place also, because videos, like you're watching this right now, is a very passive form of learning, like you're letting it happen. But if you read a book, it is an active form of learning, because you need to actively focus on the page. So this way you develop your focus as well. That will improve the business results as well. And somebody, they spent years basically trying to write something about one specific topic. Now, if you read a book with all of their depth, and you can read it like in a couple of days only, you expand your knowledge by a ton. So books is a great place to learn as well. So yeah, that is the second. The third is basically long form content. Like, don't watch content that is like shorter than like 10 minutes or 20 minutes or something like that, because there won't be a lot of depth into it. And preferably watch content that is like an hour, or like podcasts maybe. I listened to a lot of podcasts, and that was great because it brought me a new perspective. And sometimes, like when somebody was on a podcast, you know, I bought their book. So a podcast or a long form is a great place to find the content you can read basically. These three things are basically like the only things that you need to worry about when getting the knowledge. First, look at mentors, because that is the most specific and the most targeted and the most compact advice. Then books, basically, because first of all it improves your focus, second of all, like it expands your thinking, because really great for perspective. Third is a long form. Don't watch short form content. It is bad for your focus, it is bad for your emotional regulation, because you're basically watching a new emotion every 10 seconds, you know, and that is very bad for your emotional state. But also, like, what is in there is like trash, you know, like a lot of people, they think they are experts because they saw like a TikTok or like a short form a video about that specific topic, but that is not true. So this for the knowledge. Now let's basically talk about the next thing, which is the skills. And just like content, not all content is basically worth consuming, and not all skills are worth learning. Some skills are way better to learn when you have a financial goal than other skills. You know, like if you want to become like a great cook or something like that, then sure, you can practice like your cooking skills. But like if you're trying to build a business here, if you're trying to make money, there are skills that are way better than the other ones. The first one is your expertise. your expertise, like basically what you are doing, like what are you trying to sell, what is your product. You know, like for me, for example, it is the my expertise is business and focus, but they intertwine, so they basically like the same thing. What is your expertise, like what do you actually help people with? That you have to consciously like, and you have to consistently like get better at, because the product is what it's all about, and the expertise is basically about the delivery of your product. Now the second thing that you have to learn is sales, because sales, it's like a necessary part of business. Every successful company does sales or has a sales department or anything like that, you know. And the sales is basically about the conversion. Now you can probably already guess what the third skill will be, right? That is the marketing. And that is about the acquisition. So do you see how much sense this makes? Like the best skills to learn are the first principles of business: acquisition, conversion, and delivery. That is all you need to basically run a successful business. So when you're trying to develop skills, first of all, get better in your expertise, so you improve the product. Second, get better at sales, so you can improve the conversion rate. Third, improve the marketing, so you can acquire more leads. This could either be done through networking or through content, for example. Learn these skills and you're basically set up to build like a very successful business. So now we've talked about the knowledge, what content you have to learn, or what content you can consume. We've talked about the skills, what skills you can develop. Now let's talk about the now let's talk about the characteristics. And characteristics, there aren't 3, but there are basically 6. So I will put them just like this. The first and the most important is the focus. Focus basically means like 0 distractions, you know, because your time and energy is limited. If you get distracted, if you spend that on things that doesn't directly move you to your goal, it moves you away from it. So focus is about not getting distracted, right? So remove all of the things that doesn't take you like to your goal. Now the second thing is the discipline, or like the ability to do what you said you were going to do. Because if you don't have self-mastery, if you don't follow through with your own agreements, then you're not able to see success as well. Now, then the third is consistency. No days off. Like if you run a business, then you don't have weekends, you don't have vacations, you don't have days off, but you don't have work either. That is the trade-off that you will make when starting your own thing, right? But it isn't as bad as it sounds, because I don't want to take a day off, because I like what I do. I like this game of entrepreneurship. So consistency, very important to build the momentum, because without the momentum you will never see those exponential results. Now the fourth is basically like is the emotional control or the reasoning. Like, are you led by emotions or are you led by like your reasoning basically? And make sure that it is the latter, because there will be a lot of emotions, like good emotions, bad emotions, but if you act upon it, you will ruin like everything that you've built. So be able to control your emotions. The fifth is commitment, or your ability to just stick to one thing. Because the Dunning-Kruger effect, you know, you will reach the valley of despair. Like it will go like this. Like this is I will quickly like write it down here. This is your confidence, and this is your competence. Now, when you are just starting out, when your confidence and your competence is low, right? You start out and you go like this, because you get really confident. You think, this person have done it, I will do it as well. So you basically here you reach like Mount Stupid. Then it goes down because you see, this bottleneck, and you will start to see why it couldn't work. Then here you will basically reach like the valley of despair. Now, most people, what they will do is they will quit and they will start a new thing. They are not committed. You will always reach this point where you think, what am I doing with my life? Like, should I pivot to AI or something like that, you know? But if you stick it out for long enough, then eventually you will get to here. And that is where you have confidence and competence, and that is like very sustainable. Point is, you will always hit bottlenecks, always hit challenges, but if you keep quitting every time, then yeah, you're basically done for. So commitment is also like a characteristic that you should definitely think about developing. Now, the last one, the sixth one, is basically the patience, or the delayed gratification. Because getting results, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. And if you don't have the patience, if you expect results in like 2-3 months and you don't get any, you know, you get very impatient and then maybe you will quit. But for me, it took 15 months of like straight up suffering, of balancing my 9 to 5 with my online business, before I was able to get my first paying client. Then in the 8 months after that, I got like $25,000 to $30,000. So in the first 15 months, nothing. In the 8 months after that, $30,000. So if I wasn't patient, if I would quit somewhere in these 15 months, and during this time I constantly had thoughts about, yes, no, this is not working, well, you know, I will quit. But I kept doing it. I didn't really think about the time. I really didn't think about like how long I was already doing it and like my expectations. No, I was just thinking, okay, I will do whatever it takes for how long it will take. And that is what it will require. So don't even think about time. Just have patience and just enjoy the process. Because like right now, I can look back at it and I can laugh at it. Back then I couldn't laugh. Back then it was straight up suffering. But now, now it's not so bad after all. So yeah, like just focus on like the progress that you're making, even though you're not earning any money yet. Have patience, have delayed gratification. So yeah, these 6 things will allow you to have the characteristics to become the person that you need to become in order to achieve your results. Combine that with the knowledge that you are learning, like the quality knowledge that you consume, and combine that with the skills that you develop for the acquisition, the conversion, and the delivery. That will set you up for success. So right now, focus all of your attention on leveling up in these 3 things. And in a year, you will be a completely different person. And because you are a completely different person, you will have you will have like a completely different life. Because if you develop yourself for a year, then you are able to take on more, bigger, greater challenges that will eventually allow you to make more money. So yeah, knowledge, skills, characteristics, improve them, and you will like get your desired reality eventually. So yeah, good luck and bye.